Live from the Toyota Escondido Action Sports Studio, this is the Action Sports Show. It's time for the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports, featuring Jim Holfus and Dan McGranahan. And now,
you're on, guys.
I might have heard it a time or two, man. I'm just telling you, folks. Welcome to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Jim Holtis, Dan McGranahan. We got another guy on the panel tonight, Dan.
We do. Great friend of mine and guy's like a brother to me. Give a big radio round of applause for the man, the myth, the legend, Tyler Klesiak.
Thanks for joining the panel tonight, man.
Yeah, no, I'm more than pleased to be here tonight, and it was cool when Dan hollered at me today. I was actually out at the motocross track with some of my guys, and when I was getting the call, I kind of knew what it was for, and I was just pumped to have the opportunity to come out.
A little bit closer there on the Madonna. Hey, well, we're...
This is the Brittany.
Yeah.
It's Brittany.
Mm-hmm. Bitch. Oh, can we say that on radio? We just did. What's up? So, man, what a great weekend, huh?
We had some fun
What'd you
this
have
weekend.
going on?
Yeah. A little extended weekend. When, domestic stuff for me. My parents.
Well, the way you were set to go on your Gilligan's Island 3-hour tour when I saw you Friday in your Hawaiian wear, your sandals, and one of the largest hats I've ever seen.
Here's the thing. For a
You
guy
look
like
great,
me
man.
that owns his own business, we don't, and I know other entrepreneurs out there can relate to this, you don't really, Labor Day is not kind of like a day where you get to celebrate that much. You know, you're working all the time. All these government holidays are kind of,
They don't happen.
They're irrelevant sort of things in your life where everybody takes a day off and makes your work harder.
Our phone comes on at, the wee hours, and that business call comes in at 10, 11 o'clock at night. You're hammering it. So.
But I'm really trying to not do that anymore with some great advice from my
Yes.
attorney, actually, who said, hey, turn your phone off, dork.
But that cost you $1,000 for him to tell you that, right?
Probably. He takes good care of me. But, I decided to fully embrace Labor Day, and by doing so, I put some flower print trunks that I got from my dad, so they were the right size
Oh, they
and
were the
cut,
right.
And some this plaid button-up thing that I also got from my dad, and this big brimmed like fishing hat thing on, so that I could just physically embrace the idea of Labor Day. And so I really tried not to labor too much, although I definitely worked yesterday. But actually took the weekend for the most part and just kind of cruised.
Well, I had.
What about you?
I had an event, as you know, on Sunday, the SRD Off-Road Show and Tell, powered by Toyota Escondido. It was really cool. I had a great time out there. A lot of show trucks going on. We had the Young Marines out there, and but the highlight of my weekend was on Saturday night. My kids were on a camp out all weekend long. Wife had to work. My mom asked me, and I took my mother on a mom-son date to her high school reunion party dinner that happens every year that she hasn't gotten to go to in several years due to her health. And I committed and said, I'm taking it to it, and we went and rocked it. It was cool. Took a selfie, the whole thing, man. It's cool.
You're a good man, Jim.
No, don't say that.
I take it back.
Thank you. So, but that was cool. And, just hung out. And then yesterday was rolling around. Went to go get a new pair of kicks on my way into the shoe store. Trip over a handicapped curb. Try to catch myself with my one leg. Something pops. Think I tore my calf muscle, and I spent this morning getting it all checked out. Still bought the shoes.
Yeah.
Man, I can't walk now. We'll have to ask Dean here in a little bit. When you can't walk, do you still buy shoes? Of course you do.
Throw a little Windex on that thing.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. I haven't been
That's
able
what I
to hear good ever since, which is weird.
So strange.
What?
There was a big race this weekend also, and that was cool. And the international crew, of which we have a little bit of the international crew here with us today, although we've adopted him as
He's
a
ours.
red-blooded American. red-blooded Canadian Scottish American. Yeah, we had some of the boys from the MXGPs come over and hang out in America and do a race and battle it up with some of the American dudes, and so that was exciting. Can we bring our guests on for some
Just
of this
bring
conversation?
him on
'Cause
now, ladies
here-
and gentlemen. Dean Wilson is here. Jeez, he's sitting there like he doesn't exist. I see him. I know he's here.
He is here, and in introduction, I want to let everybody know that this is actually a new format for us. We're going to be doing the Dean Wilson Show. So normally we bring on a couple people, we'll rotate them through. We're going to go all in with Dean Wilson today. So this is it, all in with Dean Wilson.
Behind the scenes, 3-on-1.
That's it.
How you been, buddy?
Yeah, good. Just coming back from this injury, and yeah, it's good. I'm happy to be riding. It's
What's
been,
a Sindri?
Sindri? A Sindri?
What is that?
It's 100 years. You've never heard of a century before.
We're going to be doing this a bunch
Sindri.
tonight,
I
just so you know.
You know what? I might just start speaking American.
He does speak good dude, so I've heard it.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to. Back racing, and yeah, it's all good.
I mean, saw you lighting it up the last few weeks of outdoor and several top fives and looked pretty darn good. Must have felt really good.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm exactly 100% right now. I'd give myself like 85% mark. You know, this is my second full knee reconstruction on the same knee, 2 years or like in 2 years in a row. So
My calf doesn't hurt as bad anymore.
this just the second one's kind of took a little bit longer than I would like. I've really worked hard on therapy, but just still don't feel 100% on the bike. And my left-handed turns, I don't feel comfortable sticking it out in the turns. You know, it's so that's kind of holding me back. But you know, I wanted to get out there and get racing. You know, I haven't really raced all year, so I got the last 5 nationals in, and you know, I got like 3 fifth place finishes in a row. Motor-wise.
So with that said, at 85%, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not bad.
He's
you know.
basically saying he'd be winning if he was healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just put it out there.
Duh.
Not right now. Kenny's on it. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to be out there. So
Yep.
I'm happy to be out there and try and get better every race. And yeah, that's what we do.
So we brought Tyler in for a reason because he is a expert in the world of hypnotics, and so we thought that he could help you with that, putting your leg thing out, and if he would just put you under in a hypnotist place, and then just get you to repeat the phrase, "I am not scared."
That's it. Yeah, it's a
Tyler, you want to run with that one?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got the big enough watch.
Yeah, but I don't run
Look at
very
that.
well. So
no more cross
there's
guys
not-
run very
yeah,
well.
exactly. So it doesn't matter what it is. The running, that's out of my vocabulary. It's
Yeah.
not hasn't been in it in a long time.
Like-
Seriously, it'd be it is the funniest thing. It would be the funniest thing to line up. Like, just pick any 12 known motocross
yeah.
guys and make them do a foot race.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about like some crazy wobble running?
Or not even just that. You might look fine. I mean, I'm saying this because it's me. If I go and run, I'll make sure that I look good doing it. But for the next 4 or 5 days, I'm gonna look like something's really wrong with me, and everyone's gonna wonder why.
Getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Classic.
There's a few guys that still run though. A couple. You know, I think Dungy still likes to run, and Kenny runs a little bit, and yeah, it's tough though.
Mm-hmm.
Select few.
Yes. You know what? Watching your career, I was thinking about you a little bit, and I'm gonna maybe get a little deeper with you here, but
Those dreams, yeah, tell them about that.
let me tell you about the dreams I've been having.
As long as they're not wet dreams, we'll be all right.
These are moto dreams, and no, but I was thinking about your dreams actually, and I was thinking about what it must be like for you here at this stage, having to mount this comeback that you're mounting. You're doing a fabulous job, and we will definitely get into that. But I'm sure when you were a young racer on that like PC team or something, like the world was your oyster. This was not you couldn't have imagined the journey that it's been.
Yeah, not at all. It's been tough. Yeah, I mean, it's like when you're an amateur, you just want to be a pro.
Yeah.
You become a pro. And then your rookie year is always good. Like, you kind of watch Austin Faulkner right now. He's like, no expectations, just go out there,
Life is great.
do your best.
Yep.
And that was like how mine was. I had a good rookie season, I won quite a few races, and I ended the season off winning, and it was like really good. The next year, you know, it's like, oh, I kind of won. Like, I think I can do a little bit more of that. Won some Supercrosses, didn't get the championship, but then I won the outdoor championship. So now you just go from, I'm excited to be in the pro ranks to, okay, now I want to win. Like, you know, so it's crazy how it all changes. But yeah, it's tough. You know, everyone knows already, you know, I've struggled with injuries, and a couple of them were kind of out of my control with some failures, but it's tough. It's really just tough mentally, to be honest, you know, because you go from beating all these guys like you used to, you know, and then you come back and they're light years ahead of you. But that's where the mental game comes in, where, you know what, sometimes you just have to accept the fact that they're ahead of you right now, and just, you know, trust the process, and eventually you'll get back there. But it may not, you know, be that, you know, it may not be that fast, but if you trust it and trust your program and you believe that you can do it, you know, you'll eventually get back to where you need to be. But that's the problem. People are so quick to judge you, you know, like, you come back and you're not where you were, then they're blah, 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 they're talking, but it just takes some time. Like, for instance, you watch Adam Cincerello, who's kind of a little bit same path as me, and the beginning of the season was not very good. His results weren't good. And then I remember watching this race. It was like 4th or 5th round. He hole-shotted, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. He hole-shotted, he led for like 3 laps, and he went all the way back to like 12th. But that right there is like a starting point, you know?
Yes.
And then by the end of the season, he should have won Moe's, but he fell. Like at Budds Creek, which was second last race,
But he was at least in it all the way through, and
process.
But that took time.
Yeah.
But fans don't. They don't have that time. So do you ever feel like you just want to like reach into the TV and be like, "I'm here. Just give me the time I need."
Yeah. The best thing to do is just, honestly, just don't read all the BS.
Yeah.
Don't pay attention to it. Just do you. That's all you can do. Like, at the end of the day, you don't want to read all that negative stuff, and like, it's just not going to do anything for you. You know, even though sometimes like you kind of like wondering what they're saying, but I always have that gut feeling. I already know what they're saying. So it's like, you just got to trust yourself and believe. And right now is like pretty tough for me, you know, because I don't have a ride for next year, and I've never been in this situation. So it's definitely a trial, for sure.
I mean, we were certainly going to talk to you about that also, and we got to.
Well, just a couple minutes, and we have a lot more to dig in with and a lot of questions.
A lot of time.
But there is a couple things I did want to mention before we went to the break, before we were all moto all the time.
Yeah, we brought Dino on, and it's the Dino channel just turned on, which is all good.
It is good. But I did want to mention that upcoming, still here a couple weeks from now, we've got the Toyota Escondido Full Move Baja Adventure that's going to be coming up. Yeah, whatever that was.
Tempba.
So 5 days,
That's
4
the acronym.
nights, led by the guru himself, Mr. Cameron Steele. And there's still a couple spots left. If you are a person, you have a 4-wheel drive Toyota, and you'd never been to Baja, or you've been to Baja and you want to go back, email guru@toyotaescondido.com, and there's still time to sign up. So that's going to be a really, really cool. It's going to be our first annual, so this is going to be a thing that's going to be going on from a long, long time to go.
And I want to give some shout outs already to the guys that have stepped up to sponsor that event, because we really appreciate that. And so I want to talk about Baja Designs, the light company that's got behind it. I want to talk about Baja Bound Insurance that's gotten behind it, and in a big way. I want to talk about Wiener Schnitzel, who has stepped up to back it, which we're really happy to have those guys. Of course, we have a great relationship with those guys.
We've got iBox Springs that's aboard.
I'm excited to have the iBox company on
there.
board. Yep, that's going to be absolutely amazing.
Factory Canopies is coming aboard.
We got Factory Canopies aboard. We got Scrubblade wipers aboard.
Grip Clean.
Which is really awesome. We got Grip Clean hand soap. If you haven't got your hands on that stuff
Used
yet,
it again yesterday, man.
Out.
That stuff kicks ass. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yep.
So we got to get him back in, because I'm almost out.
Got to get him in. So, And I'm sure I'm leaving a couple off because I'm just going off the top of my head. But we have some amazing sponsors that are participating in this. Of course, for you guys that don't know also, the show is going to be featured in several magazines. The Drive, the trip is going to be featured in several off-road magazines. Do you know the
Everything
list off
from
the top of your
dirt
head?
sports to
Dirt sports,
to four-wheeler,
four-wheeler.
off-road, not only on their digital product, but be written up in their
In the print
magazines as
magazine,
well
yeah.
So
It's gonna be an amazing trip.
It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna take a couple of those media guys with it, let them experience it for themselves. So, TE Motorsports, another.
TE
another
Motorsports, local
sponsor.
factory aftermarket type company. It's
Yeah.
going to be backing it.
So yeah, that's really cool, and we're excited, and I can't wait. It's only a couple of weeks away, so very cool. Also coming up here in the next couple of weeks, we've got the last Lucas Oil off-road race. That's going to be coming right here to what we call our backyard in Lake Elsinore. So I believe it's September 23rd and 4th, Friday and Saturday night racing under the lights, where you get to see all the sparks fly and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely want to check that out.
Lake Elsinore is more like my neighbor's backyard. I wouldn't claim it as my personal backyard.
Hey, there's a couple
It's like my
things.
neighbor's backyard.
So this
I
week,
wouldn't do that to my backyard.
This weekend, we've got the big UFC 203 coming up. Overeem and Miocic. That's going to be a great fight, and there's a bunch of great cards underneath that on, too. Wanted to mention this one story that I saw on the media today. Misha Tate helped rescue a 6-year-old girl. She happened to be out jogging up in the hills, top of a mountain, and there's this 6-year-old girl that had fallen, arm broken. Mom
And there was a bear.
struggling to get
Tell
her
me where the bear comes in.
to help. There's no bear.
Because Misha could take a bear.
And but helped her pick her up and carry her like miles to help, and that was all over the news today. So props to you, Misha. That was
That's
pretty
cool.
awesome. You know. So
Are you guys Conor McGregor or Nate Diaz?
Connor.
What about you?
I don't know. I kind of.
I do like
You
Nate's
know.
style though. I mean, the both of them.
I
I
do.
like that fight.
Yeah.
Is what I like.
I don't dislike any of them, but
Yeah.
I'm more Conor for sure. What about you?
Well, I would assume you're more Connor. You sound like Connor.
Ole, 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 ole.
No, for sure, Conor McGregor. I love the fact that he talks the game he talks. I think he does a lot for the sport. I think athletes that are willing to be vocal and outspoken do a lot for their sport. You should write that down somewhere. And they learn how to make a lot of money along the way, being polarizing, whether you love them or hate them.
Right.
Even people like the notorious J-Law made a lot of money being the notorious J-Law for a while. I doubt that he managed it that well. I'm just taking a stab in the dark. But the notorious Conor McGregor is making a lot of money, and there's really no notorious in moto right now. You know, I think that Pike maybe took a stab at grabbing the notorious title, but
The notorious DW.
Yeah. You better stay out of it. You know why? Because our industry's too small.
it is too small, no
you
doubt.
can't burn bridges because you
I
could be
agree.
walking down that road the next year. So,
Yes, that's true. That is true.
but I
Matter
do
of fact,
think it would be cool if our sport was more like more rivals and like.
there's a little more
it would-
storyline.
I
Yeah.
still love the Beaties. That was one of my highlights of the year. I loved it.
or
Loved it.
what even just our sport in the 90s.
Yeah.
You see
Social
old
media
clips
kills
of
it.
just guys just cleaning
Yeah.
each other out, and it's like they're still good buds at the end. Or there's a one, I think what it was like
Oh,
Bradshaw and
Matasevic?
Laraco or
Oh, okay.
something, and the dude takes him out in the turn. He gets up and kicks him in the stomach with his steel toe boot, and then keeps going. And they didn't get any black flag or
Yeah.
anything. They just kept going.
Old school.
Uh-huh.
The 90s.
Well, hey, we are going to go take our first break, folks, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. The Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido. Don't go away.
It'll rot your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
You already know that Toyota of Escondido has a huge selection of new and used Toyotas, right? But I bet they have a few more things you didn't even know, like a certified collision center. If you're ever in an accident, get your Toyota fixed with the proper parts it was meant to have at Escondido's only Toyota certified collision center.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
Looking to save money? Toyota of Escondido has a full refinance department. Keep your current car no matter the make or model and let Toyota of Escondido's refinance team help lower your monthly payment or current interest rate. Visit ToyotaEscondido.com and click the refinance tab. ToyotaEscondido.com. Shop for your new Toyota and much, much more.
Howdy ho! This is Ronnie Renner here, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota of Escondido. Blip.
You're on, guys.
Folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show. Jim, Dan, and Tyler here on the panel here tonight. And hey, if you're on the website, don't forget to follow the social media at TE Action Sports. That is at TE Action Sports, and subscribe to the podcast. So if you missed the show, you can always catch up or listen to it 10, 15 times a week like most people do. So
Our boy Tyler actually discovered the podcast today.
that's right.
And realized that there are some 65 archived episodes from the Action Sports Show sitting right there at iTunes at your disposal for you to listen to. I mean, the rest of the year is pretty much covered.
Yeah. Just take up the couch, do what you got to do, or, even if you're going to go out in the public in daylight and all that kind of stuff, just bring your headphones. Good things will happen. But we like watching it on the widescreen. You get it right there on the podcast. And
Live streaming on YouTube right now, for those of you that don't know, or jump onto the Facebook. You can watch it there.
Facebook.
Yes. I love it when people say that, and I just did it.
Matt,
The Facebook
man, I
does
love the Facebook. It's pretty cool.
I posted it on the Facebook.
Hey, our first guest, our only guest, it is the Dean Wilson Show tonight. He's here, back in house, and man, we're talking all kinds of cool stuff, moto, UFC.
We got a couple questions for him, actually, on
Already?
on our Facebook already. Yeah.
Well, Spock, ask away.
A good friend of the show, and a good friend of Tyler's, actually, as well, Jeff Ray, threw in a question. He wants to know what your top 10 fantasy Supercross team looks like.
I didn't know where you were going for a second there.
Top 10 fantasy team.
Fantasy team.
Wait, so what do you mean by that?
Well, you are actually racing Supercross, but the rest of us are actually playing Supercross on these fantasy leagues.
Okay.
Which is different than actually racing it. But it's a little different. But so we pick you guys each week, and we have to pick you in a certain order.
Yeah.
So if you weren't racing and you had to pick, who's your top 10? Break it down.
So just like a top 10 right now of Supercross.
Yeah. So say they did one for Monster Cup, which is coming up.
Okay.
Who would
Obviously, James, number one.
Who would be
Okay.
your top
and
10?
and here's the hook too, and mistake me if I'm wrong. If you pick someone that you wouldn't expect to be up in the front, but they end up finishing towards the front,
Yeah, it's
you're
like a
getting
lot
more
of
points.
points, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you got to take that into account too. So it's not just like, oh, I'd pick him.
Like
him,
a dark
him.
horse, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So who you
Right.
might want to throw a couple of those in too.
Top 10? Ooh.
Yeah.
Maybe even
I'm going to say,
five.
do you want me to start from first or 10th?
If you got 10 in you, start from 10 and that
10?
might be
10 would
difficult.
be
Start from
difficult.
1. Start from first
Right.
and work your
I'm
way
going to
back.
have to go
Yep.
1, Kenny.
Okay.
2, Tomac.
Ezra Lusk, is he on your list?
Come out of retirement?
Is this all time or now?
All time would be a funny one. Okay,
I
so
think Rick Johnson, but
Kenny, Tomac,
Anderson.
Anderson. This is
Barsha?
this is assuming Dungy's healthy, by the way.
Damn.
You forgot about that guy, right? I do that all the time.
No, but he fell in the first turn, so he got 4th. Then you got 4th. Barsha 5th. Muskin 6th.
Really? Muskin's that high, huh? I like it.
Reedy going to make the list?
Yeah, Reed 7. Man. Pike had a good race with an 8th.
How about Trey Kennard?
Kennard
be up
got
there?
9th, but he still adjusting to his new bike, My bike.
I was going to say, why would you say that, Jim? Too soon, bro.
It hit me right when it came out of my mouth. Oh, man.
Ouch.
And then top 10 spot's going to have to go to the dark horse Vince Freese.
Freesy, huh? Okay. Because you know he's going to get a good
Man,
start.
Good start. 10 laps. 10th. Whole
Yep.
shot.
Who's a better starter, Freezy or Alessi?
I mean, Alessi definitely has more whole shots to his name, but
Sure.
I don't know. I don't think Alessi's got the whole shots like he used to anymore.
It's no longer.
Yeah, because this last year he didn't do what he's always done, really.
Well,
Well, he was in Canada.
he was in Canada, but even
Eh?
in Canada, he wasn't really dominating the starts.
You ever think you'll go race back in Canada? Eh?
You never know. There's a lot of unemployed riders at the moment, so it's actually a dead honest.
Not the worst
if
option.
No, I mean, to be honest, at this point, if you're making a living racing a dirt bike, you're doing all right. So.
If you go to
Yeah.
Canada and can actually battle to take a championship, that's not a bad thing either.
Championship bonus. It's
Yeah.
nice too.
Yeah, yeah.
Incentives.
I don't know.
We'll get into that. We're going to get into what your options are, where you're going, what you're thinking about, what you're comfortable talking about at least.
Yep.
And, because I think that a lot of people want to know what's going on with you. From an educated fan's perspective, you see this type of situation where you come back, there's a few races left. What I was proud of you for, and we talked about this, was that you didn't rush back onto the bike when you were only at 65%. You waited till you were more like 80, 85%. Then you said, okay, I got to get back on the bike. And you know the economics and the process of how the Supercross work world works for racers and how perception is so valuable. You had to come out there and make some statements. It was really important for them to realize that to remember how fast you are. So quickly they forget.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really showed my speed, I don't feel, yet. Like, I haven't really done anything, even qualifying, nothing. I've never really done anything that impressive. But I still showed that I can run the top 10, even not at 100%. And I was just out there more than anything. When I came back at Melville, I don't know, that was like the roughest race of the year.
That was gnarly,
Those
yeah.
rollers every lap towards the end of the moto, I'm like, oh no. It was just, the goal was just to finish both motos.
Yeah.
I kind of actually, the goal, like, in my head, I didn't tell anybody, it was more of like 2 top 10s. But then after, I'm like, okay, no, the goal is just to finish these both motos, because I was behind Stuart and that was his first race back, and I was like right behind him the whole race. And honestly, I think if anyone was to watch me and him, we looked like sea riders, sitting down, elbows down, panic revving, just the most,
Struggle busing.
yeah,
That
terrible.
that track's not the most friendliest to come back to. That's
No.
not like a good little
It's
okay,
just-
hey, welcome back.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's demanding.
And
so.
did he finish out the season, or did he get hurt out again?
No, he raced that first race, and then the next moto he never done it, and then he never done race out. He went to some races, but I don't think he finished them. So, yeah, for me it was a building block. Get better every race, and just be out there.
So you did how many races at the end of the season? there?
5.
Five,
Yeah.
5 races. That's a fair amount.
Mm-hmm.
Got through it, no problems. You showed you're durable. You showed you're not like out there still wounded. Wounded soldier guy. You're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not back up to your capacity as far as speed goes
Mm-hmm.
and endurance. So you were on the KTM team. There was some rumors that they may dig deep down in their hearts and find a spot to hang on to you, and I think that would be a very wise thing on their behalf. But is that still a possibility?
No, I don't think at this point anymore. It was for a second, but then like this was months and months back, and then they signed Kennard, and that was it really. So
Because for sure he's not going to get hurt. So they're going to have 2 guys all year, right?
3 guys:
3 guys. Oh, they have someone else, Musquin or something?
Marv, Dungeon, Kennard.
So Musquin's there all year. Okay. I see. So this would have been 4.
Yeah, which
Gotcha.
is a bit of a roster for a 450 team. But for me, obviously, I'm not going to get the salary that I once had, so I wouldn't really be like a huge expense, but it's what it is.
Yeah. So there's some other teams swirling, some stuff happening. Like the RCH team seems like a potential great home for you in my eyes. I'm just talking stuff I don't know anything about. So, but throwing that at you, that seems like a very legitimate potential. A team that is losing a superstar. You have more name recognition probably than anybody else that they're going to have a chance to look at. that I can think of, and you're higher on that list of results than any of those guys. So, have you had any conversation with those guys? Are you willing to talk about some of this stuff, or where are you at with it?
Well, for right now, yeah, I mean, I'm talking to anybody, why not? So, I went and spoke to RCH, JGR, there's,
JGR has always been one of those places that would be a decent home for you, I think, as well.
yeah, so honestly, I just want to be on a team. It's like,
and like
we
you
kind
said,
of
it's
laugh
got to be
about
weird
it.
for you. This is the first time you're going out as free agent applying for jobs.
Yeah, it's tough for sure, but this is what I love to do, and I realize that I need to rebuild myself next year. Whether I'm in 15th or up front, I just want to be at every race, and just get a year of racing under my belt, which will help me tremendously, So,
Has it been, and even to catch me up and whoever else is listening, really, and to kind of recap your career, when you came into the lights, I mean, you were a crusher, and you were smashing it and doing all that, and then it seemed like when you're making the big step up to the premier class was kind of when the bricks got laid down on you, and you haven't had a clean season since. So you've kind of been against the grain the whole time when if you could look back, that raw talent's there. It's just when you're dealing with issues, it's a bit tough.
yeah, I mean, it's bad. Like, the thing that sucks for teams when they look at me is they're like, is he going to get hurt this year? Should we hire him? Because it's a big loss when a rider gets hurt for a team because sponsors and all that. So that's the tough part for me, is that I have that risk over my name, which I understand. I mean, it is what it is. But I haven't raced Supercross and Motocross since 2011.
Wow.
2012, I was battling for the West Coast Championship, and I dislocated my shoulder, and I tried doing the first round outdoors, but I couldn't do it, and that was like with the number 1 plate, and I was like pretty bummed on that. So that year was done. Then 2013, I came back, and then every year I haven't had Supercross and Motocross, so it's been tough.
He starts to go down
Yeah.
it, and he just gets like, I don't want to talk about this. Yes,
Yeah.
every year. Okay,
So
I'm
that's
not listening to it out here.
that's the
It
tough
sucks.
part. Nobody
That's 5
questions
years.
nobody questions your speed and your past results and your talent and all that kind of stuff. So that's
Yeah, I mean, well, 2014 when I was riding for Mitch, it was my last year lights, and like I had a good off season, and then I got through the West Coast races, which was 6 rounds, and then Chad Reed gave me the call when he got injured to ride his bike, and that was like showed a little bit of my potential because I was healthy for quite a bit, and then I raced like Daytona. I got the fastest lap time. I won my heat race, and I was running second the whole main, and then I had a bit of a wall. The wall didn't move much either. She was built very good. Donald Trump may have built that wall, but no, I got 7th. So, and then every qualifier, like I was fastest. So it was like pretty cool. But then I put that big hole in my leg after that at Glen Helen, and that was the end of that season. So.
And
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so then since then, that's when the 2 major knee operations happened from that point on.
15,
That kind of
16.
kept you kind of out. So now, I guess what's been going on? I mean, like we were saying, a lot of people only see what's going on TV. They don't see anything behind it.
No.
You know what I mean? They don't know what you've been up to and what you're doing and how you might be prepared even going into next year and the sacrifice that you've been making. Like these past 2 years, I mean, unfortunately we haven't seen Dino on the TV screen so much, but and what's been going on the back, like at home and prepping and trying to even getting back. I mean, you the way it seems to me is you finally said, well, shoot, man, there's a few rounds left and I gotta get out there. So there had to have been something. It's not you're on the couch like just jacking around and then going, oh, my time's running out, I better go out.
Yeah.
What's been going on?
Well, when I did my knee, which really sucked, that was a huge disappointment because I had a really good off season, worked really hard, and just everything was just, every single day I was just, it's not all about always working hard, which I was, but everything was just placed right, and I was doing my laps and whatever. So, you know, after the second round, I just was in practice doing a fast lap for qualifying, and I put my leg out in a turn, and the front wheel washed, and all the weight went on my leg, and it's the worst feeling. The knee just like, oh, you can't even like.
This is the last
done.
one?
Yeah, it just
San Diego, right?
no Anaheim too.
Oh.
So I couldn't believe it. It was pretty disappointing. So, anyways, pretty devastated after that. Went to Belgium because there's a really good knee surgeon there. I wanted to get the best doctor because, you know, second time. Got that done. Came back.
Did Red Bull help you with that? Is that a Red Bull guy? Because I know they have
No,
some doctors.
it's not a Red Bull guy. But
okay.
The thing that was tough about this was I went 5 weeks, and I had a staph infection. And I was popping all these painkillers because I was just like, oh, it's just like the surgery, you know, pain. Like, it will go away, and then it wasn't going away, and then the knee was blowing up. I got my knee drained 5 times.
Man.
They're like, all right, you need to go for blood tests and all this. Went to blood tests. They're like, you have staph infection. I'm like, So then I had to get back on a plane to Belgium. With my, you don't understand, like, I remember when I first got my knee done, we flew to Belgium, got the knee done, and then I went back to Scotland, which is an hour flight. It was nothing. And I have a house still there. And I just, like, chilled there for 3 weeks because I wasn't going to make the big journey right after knee reconstruction. So, you know, I went to 3 weeks in Scotland, and then I flew over, and, like, I had a sock on it and base bandage and stuff. And when I landed, I was in so much pain. Like, I don't think any painkiller would have done the job. Like, I was sweating, and then my dad got stuck in secondary inspection, and I'm starting to sweat. I'm like, Dad, I told the lady, the border patrol lady, I'm like, can you hurry up, please? Like, I'm gonna.
I'm sure
I need
you
to get out of
sweating
here.
and being in a panic really helped the situation.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we
in
got
an
a live
airport.
one here.
Yeah.
We got a live one for sure. Look at the way this guy's acting. You need
Well,
to, you need to
I
do a
wasn't
full
the one
cavity
that got
search.
pulled in. It was just my dad. So I'm just like holding my leg. It's blowing up.
He's definitely got
The next
something
day I
in,
went and got
in the
it-
knee there.
Yeah, the next day I went and got it drained, and it was just like that is what people don't see. Is that, yeah, I got a knee reconstructed, but I got staph infection, which sucked. Had to fly back to Belgium, got surgery again, cleaned it up, and then I was just honestly the biggest sigh of relief was not having an infection and just not having that ache in my
Yeah.
knee.
So how time-wise, how far back did the staff put you back? 5-6 more weeks? Or
I don't know. Like, they didn't really tell me. I just kind of didn't want to think about it. That is what it was, you know. It's
just fix it?
So then after that, once I finally like laid on the couch for however long you do that, and then once you get into therapy, it's way better because you're like, finally we're moving forward, you know. So then therapy was 3-4 days a week. Plus I was just doing gym core and stuff like that, and I did everything I could. Like once I was able to cycle, I was cycling.
And once you get on
6
the
days a week.
bicycle, you're
Yeah.
like, okay, we're making some serious strides now.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
was nice. So I worked hard to get back, but it's just one of those things that's going to take probably a year for the knee to feel like fully confident in it again, which is to be expected.
What do you got to keep doing to it now, to building that
I just do a lot of like the rubber band stuff. I have a really weak hamstring, and that's really important for your knee. And so I'm always
from that is why the hamstrings.
Well, actually, I've lost hamstring muscle because I don't know if you remember, but when I got that huge hole in my leg when I crashed at Glen Helen, my bike cut off down the hill, and it was a huge gash in my leg, and it was like the foot peg ripped it or something, and it took muscle out as well. So when I like go on a hamstring machine, I don't get that burning sensation like my right leg does. Like I've lost, so that's a big bad thing for the knee. So I got to just strengthen it as much as I can. So even this off season, I probably won't have much of an off season, but I'm just gonna keep working on it. I can't not. So
Well, yeah, and cycling a lot. I mean, that's got to
Yeah.
be what's best for your knee, right?
yeah, so I cycled 6 days a week, therapy, gym, and then finally I got on the bike like 5 month mark, and then I raced.
And we were
6
talking about
months,
it. Rat race training you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So it's good.
We're gonna be back shortly.
You heard the man. The Action Sports Show. Don't go away.
It'll rot your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's official. Once again, the truck pros at Toyota of Escondido sold more new Toyota trucks than any other Toyota dealer. That means more smart buyers like you trusted Toyota of Escondido's Truck Center to find them the right truck for work or play.
Toyota of Escondido, Toyota of Escondido.
It makes sense to buy from the truck sales leader. Let Toyota of Escondido customize your new truck to fit your active lifestyle. Choose from lift kits, custom tires and wheels, and much more. Come experience a whole new way to buy your next truck. Toyota Truck Sales Leader for San Diego County for 2014.
You're listening to Guy Talk, broadcasting live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I'd go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
It's not technically asking for directions if you use sportclips.com to find your nearest Sport Clips location, and no one will ever know. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor, Sport Clips, where guys go to get an awesome haircut while watching sports on TV. Throw in our relaxing massaging shampoo and our legendary hot steam towel, and you've got our MVP haircut experience. Your head will be as majestic as a freshly mowed Major League outfield. Try it today. Last caller, you're on the air with Guy Talk.
So, how cool is getting a haircut at Sport Clips?
Oh, it's like stepping up to the plate and slam dunking a touchdown. That's all the time we have today. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
What's up? This is Brian Deegan. You're listening to the Action Sports Show. That's what's up.
You're on, guys.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido. Jim, Dan, and Tyler here on hand, and we are talking to Mr. Dean Wilson is back with us here tonight. And, Dan, you were just kind of jumping something before we went to break?
Well, there's a ton to jump into. I did want to actually spend a little more time actually on the potential teams that are out there in the future.
Sure.
Like, I get it. You've been through a lot of accidents, and we wanted to give that a little just time to talk about that. But your future is not written yet. And this isn't how the Dean Wilson story ends.
No.
And I think everybody knows that. And so I'd like to talk a little bit more about how your vision for how this story ends. And I don't mean ends like it's over in an hour, but like this show. But I mean, what's the next couple chapters look like? You know? And I'm not talking about the wife and it up and the kids and the Scottish countryside or whatever and the yodeling, but the racing part of it.
I don't know. You can't predict how it's going to happen. You know, I didn't predict to be where I'm at now. And I don't take it back. I mean, it's just lessons learned and can't regret anything. So I just want to – I know where I want to be. I want to be running up front in the 450 class and eventually start winning again. But I know that's a task that's not going to be easy, nor is it going to happen fastly. You know, like I've practiced with Dungy at the test track, and I see what he does, and I sit in awe watching his corner speed, because I would love my corner speed to be like that. But for me, it's just about getting back on my feet again, you know, getting in the top 10. Then once that's good, let's get in the top 5 and just and work there. You know, you never know, but yeah. Stop comparing myself. I want to stop comparing myself to anybody and just focus on myself.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But I am going to challenge you a little bit more to, you know, I'm a potential, you know, guy that's going to hire you, say, I'm not, but say I
Mhm.
was.
You can.
Yeah, I could go start another race team and we could get this done. But I need to hear from you that you have a vision for yourself and that you see yourself there. You know,
Mhm.
and I don't need to hear about what happened. I need to hear about where you're going, and that you believe that you have everything it takes to get there.
Mhm.
And so I guess that's what I'm asking you about. Like, you know, tell me about, yes, without reference, and I appreciate the respect to all the hard work you know it's going to take.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that you know that and hearing that from you. But I don't want to hear about the hard work right now. I want to hear about where you feel like you're capable of being in this sport.
I feel like I'm capable of being a top 3 guy in the class. You know,
450 podium every weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like only 2 years ago I was battling with Anderson for the championship.
Yeah.
And Muskin and Sealy.
Yeah.
They've all won, or Muskin hasn't won a race, but they've won races already. They've been on the podium a bunch, and I haven't gotten there yet. So for me, I feel like I do have a vision of being there because I know I can be. I feel like a lot of guys, if they were in my shoes, they would have went a different direction already because mentally to keep going is hard. And especially at this time in my career, this has been the hardest to keep mentally strong in my whole life. You know, it's like I don't know where I'm going, but
Yeah.
one thing I do know is I love racing, and no matter what bike, I know just give me a little bit of time on it, and I'll be good.
Yeah.
So.
And you mentioned it a couple times too. You even said it earlier in the show, but the mental side of it, when you're rebounding from injury after injury, and it's even maybe something that, I mean, sticking your foot out in a corner and having the weight come down on it. I mean, you can call it your fault, but that's not really your fault, you know.
Yeah.
So when you're having stuff like that happen to you, it can put a lot of people into a hole mentally and stuff. And so it's cool to kind of hear where you're coming from and your outlook on everything, and just you know, kind of what you're saying about that, and how I'm listening to you talk now is pretty cool. It's just like, you know what, I know where I'm at, but this isn't who I am, and that's really strong.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I've learned a lot about the mental game, and I've went and seen people, and I've learned a lot. And yeah, you know, you got to be just realistic with yourself, and the mental game's just crazy because you can go to races. Go to the race, and once you go up to the starting line, I've had races where I've went up and I already know in my head I'm going to have a good race. I'm confident, I feel good, and it goes well. It's just like the vibes, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Then there's races where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get arm pump. I had arm pump in practice, so I'm going to get in the race. And then sure enough, I'm having the worst race, just struggling. It's just, it's such a mental game, and it's crazy. Like sometimes if you don't have a good week, you know, at the track practicing, and then you go to the race, and that having that bad week, kind of like, oh, I don't know, like I didn't have the best week, so I don't know if I'll have like a good race, and then you're doubting yourself. Where it's just, when I was winning my championship in 2011, I like didn't care. My injuries. This is before my injuries, so I would. Whatever, it didn't matter what I did. I could drink 10 beers before, maybe not 10, but I could have a few beers before the race. Yeah, exactly. And I would be good because my confidence level is so high, you know. And once you have that mindset, and nothing is going to stop your, it's mental game's crazy. It's like you could go on for days, you know. You really could.
I mean, at this stage, though, people have to understand these athletes are all very similar in their capacity to perform as athletes. And it comes down to a mental game. It comes down to who's – and there's two sides to that mental game. There's the confidence side, and then there's the sharpness and alertness side, which is also a part of it. And they are distinct, you know. I find that the confidence thing tends to be a momentum thing. So once you get a little bit of it, you sniff a little bit of it, you hold on to it, you get a little bit more, and now you're starting to believe it in that process.
Or like, look at Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
he tries to get in their head before they even fight at press conferences, and
Oh yeah.
it's worked most of the time.
Yeah.
Except Diaz, he's just like,
After Diaz beat him the one time, it's like, okay, how can you get in his head now? But
Well,
He
in
won.
order to get into someone's head, there has to actually be something in there moving around, and so Diaz was impervious to that. So they're looking at me like, dude, you're gonna get killed. Don't say that on the radio.
you know he's here.
Stockton's coming for you.
Stockton's coming
Stockton
hard.
slap. Yeah, but no, it's a huge mental game, and no matter what anybody says, it really is.
So even a guy like Dungey, who is, for all intents and purposes, the king of the sport at the moment, even though he's out, it'll be interesting to see how he comes back from this and the process that it takes him to overcome that, and if there's now a chink in his mental armor.
Is this his first major injury, right?
I think first major injury. Yeah.
He broke his collarbone once, but missed like 2 races.
Yeah. And so it's going to be very, interesting to see how he responds to that, if he can grab that momentum back. And, Roczen was all over the place, and then suddenly he got his hands on that momentum, and he holds tight to it, and he's got that confidence, and he's kind of in that place where you said you were in 2011, where it's like I could slam whatever I want and go race, because it's not about the bike, it's not about the track, because I got it right here.
Yeah.
And so that process of finding it right there, one of the things I would say is you have to surround yourself with the right crew for that. That is super important.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely one advice I would give to anybody that's coming up, is just you really are who you surround yourself with, So it's like it's the reason I say this and learn this is there's a lot of kids on 85s that we grew up racing with and was so fast,
right,
and they just hung out with the wrong people, and now you don't even hear them or see them. Just
you probably have some dudes that like you're supposed to be the baddest dude in the world right now.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them, and now they're just doing drugs, and
you hear their name pop up, and you're like, almost forgot about that guy. That guy was gnarly. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, and you just got to stick to it. Surround yourself with good people, and it's very important.
Who's in the inner circle for you? Throw some shout outs to the homies.
Shout out to Conor McGregor, the Notorious. I know he's listening back home in Dublin. Just want to shout out to him.
Dublin in the house.
Damian Campos.
Campos in the house. I heard you broke his basketball hoop or something like that, taking a half-court shot.
Yeah.
It seems like he's pretty upset with you right now.
Yeah, I did actually. But I don't know. I have a small group of friends. Jesse. I don't know how I'm forgetting them now. BJ, Ryan. I don't know. Like I have probably 5 friends. They're all.
The problem with when someone asks you to start naming friends is it's not about the people you name; it's about the people you didn't name that are now like.
Yeah.
No. Hey.
But they're all.
Now, what
married.
about your core that helps you out? Your trainers and managers and all this kind of stuff. These guys been with you for a long time? Or?
Yeah, I've had my agent since I turned pro. I've had Tyler for this year, which has been good. But I've known Tyler for a long time, and then it's actually funny because I don't even want to bring it up. But I had a really bad weekend this weekend. Don't want to talk about it. Just not good.
What's her name?
I had a crappy weekend, and that's when you find out who's in your circle.
Yeah.
When you're upset, you just need someone to talk to. My mom and dad, right away. They just, I don't know. It's just it's funny when everyone. I haven't really had the limelight or whatever in a long time, and when there's people just jumping on the bandwagon. But when you are kind of at your lowest, and your parents are always there for you, so lucky for that.
Online, you have quite the robust social sort of sphere that you operate. Yes.
What do you mean?
I mean, you have like how many followers you got on Instagram? Like
almost 400. It's kind of been a shame.
Almost 400,000. That's what I mean.
I know, but it would have. It's really slowed down lately.
Oh, it's slowed down.
It used to come a bit faster, but it's slowed down. It's disheartening.
When was the last time you actually checked an Instagram message that someone sent you?
I don't.
Never. Huh?
No.
There's probably millions of them there.
It was about 6 minutes ago. We went on break.
He was checking it.
That was Damien asking for a shout out. at
D
Campo.
needs an attaboy.
What's his Instagram? Damien's at Campos
Campos
Moto
1.
Moto
Oh,
1.
yeah.
Everybody
Campos
go follow
Give him a follow.
Campos Moto 1. I bet you. Let's do a little experiment. Let's get a picture of him on your Instagram and just send everybody to follow him, and let's see how many numbers he can grow by the end of this show here.
On
We'll see
Instagram?
if we can do that
Yeah.
in the next couple breaks. Get it out there.
Yep.
Matter of fact, we've got to go to one now, so why don't we just do it now? Folks, the Action Sports Show, we're only at the halfway point. The Dean Wilson Show. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
It'll rot your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
Catch the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota of Escondido Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 1700. Featuring Jim Holtus, the host, the agent Dan McGranahan. Get fired up by amazing guests from the world of action sports, such as Supercross star Cooper Webb, UFC title contender Dominic Cruz, FMX superstar Robbie Madison, surfer Tori Meister, musician Graham Nancaro, and more. The Action Sports Show brings you the biggest names in the action sports world. Tune in every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 1700.
This is Shannon Campbell.
Hi, this is Walker Evans.
Big Daddy here.
This is Jeremy McGrath.
Hello, this is Jay Leno.
This is Mario Andretti.
This is Carl Renazetter.
This is Rick Dale with Rick's Restorations.
This is Paul Tracy.
Hey, this is Sonny Garcia.
This is Trigger Gum, Daredevil.
My name is Paul Thacker.
Robbie Gordon here. This is Ryan Arciero of Arciero Miller Racing.
I'm Ryan Friedlinghaus, CEO of West Coast Customs.
This is Kerry Hart.
Hey, I'm Tanner Faust.
Travis Pastrana here from Nitro Circuit, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
Well, thank you, Mr. Pastrana, and all your other famous friends. We appreciate the nice words. Folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show. We almost had it loaded up, and Dean's phone died. R.I.P. Dean's phone.
It happens. It happens.
It does.
These phones don't last forever, and he be texting all day long. He got no Mophie on there or anything crazy
You don't
like
get
that.
400,000 followers
no
from not
Scotia
putting
battery
up
pack
posts, and it
keeping him
kills your battery.
alive. And
I
boom,
think
boom.
I think if we were back on the flip phone days, life would be better. If I'm honest.
Yeah, the rotary phone days.
You know, all these, you know, people wouldn't think they're that cool because of their life's not about followers. Let's just say that.
Right.
Because I've met a lot of people that have followers and they think they're a celebrity. I'm like, it's just Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. But congrats.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the mature Dino. The mature Dino is a totally different
It would
person.
be. There would be so many less divorcees out there. You know, it just think of the 90s, how cool that was.
Oh, yeah. You know what? When I think of the 90s, I think of...
I tell you what, Jeremy
think of this
McGrath
right here.
would never, Jeremy McGrath would never... Yeah, he lived in the right era.
he definitely scored, but in honor of the 90s, I'm going to throw a little of this at you. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding,
Little
ding,
Ice
ding,
Ice
ding,
Baby.
ding. When are we getting that guy on the
That's
show?
what we were singing. The In Living Color mock of Vanilla Ice was one of the funniest things ever. And we got to get Robert Van Winkle on the show.
I thought it was Rip Van Winkle.
No, he's asleep. He couldn't make it. But
You ever met him? V-Ice?
Yeah, I did actually.
Did you ride with him?
No, never rode with him.
I guess he was a pretty talented rider.
I've seen him I remember when I was at Lorette Lynn's on 85s, he did a couple laps, parade lap, and he jumped everything. He was a good rider. So he's pretty tight with Wes Kane.
Yes.
Him and Wes Kane.
Yes. Big shout out to Wes Kane.
Wes Kane.
He's the
Mafia.
West Kane Mafia. Yeah, he's the East Coast mini cycle announcer, living legend out there. Yeah. Yep.
I think he announced with RJ on the off-road GP for a few races, and then he might have circled the drain or something. I don't know. Something happened. He went off the charts.
Yes. Who was telling me about the drain circles, different directions depending on Andrew Myers. Apparently, the drain and a toilet circles different directions depending on which side of the equator you're on.
Really?
It has nothing
Blew
to do
my
with.
mind.
It has nothing to do with which
Really?
way the jets come out in the toilet bowl.
I think you can manipulate it with jets, but in its natural way, things funnel depending on which side of the equator you're on.
So if I go to dinner with a group of friends and I want to sound smart or interesting, and I say that, it wouldn't come back to me.
Bust that out because
Might wanna
even if it's
Google
not
it,
true,
right.
even if it's not
Yeah.
true, nobody will have the wherewithal to challenge
but then,
that.
And if you Google it, though, you'll click one and go, yep. But if you didn't look any further down, it could just totally say the
Be a
different thing.
myth.
And you're just like,
So here's another part that is a fact when you drop the thing that Thomas A. Crapper is the man who invented the toilet, then you really know.
really?
That's fact. That's where the name
That's-
crap come from. Thomas A. Crapper. That's where the crapper and, oh, yeah.
That's
Lovely.
Wow.
Lovely talk.
We're learning a lot on the show tonight.
We're killing it right now,
We're
guys.
learning a
we
lot.
just lost both of our listeners.
Yeah. I'm still listening. You got one. I'm still here.
Oh, apparently we jumped in listeners, so hey, maybe we are on the right track.
Yeah, what? So, yeah.
More useless knowledge coming right back at you from our boy Jim here. That's when you throw another nugget at us. Yeah. Yes. What do you do for fun, man? What do you do to like relax? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have the boys come over and like, play Monopoly? Like what's a
Chill by the
chills
fire.
for you? You obviously do a fair amount of rodeo driving.
Yeah, I got a pretty serious girlfriend these days.
You do.
Yeah, we've been on and off a bit, but I mean, pretty much 6 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow.
the past 2 years has been serious. So yeah, it's all good. She's a cool chick, and she's a flight attendant. So I get free flights, which is nice.
Very nice.
On
very
any
nice.
airline. So that's cool. But other than that, what I like to do, I like to watch Narcos that just finished season 2.
Everybody seems very excited. I've never seen it, but
Oh,
I've heard a
it's
lot of
so
people
good.
fired up about it.
It's really good.
What's it about?
Pablo Escobar.
Oh.
You know,
Oh,
what? Someone
really?
was just telling me about that show.
It's
The same thing. Someone starts talking about, oh my god, you haven't seen it yet,
yeah.
dude, and blah blah blah.
I don't know. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
There's
Is
so-
it like the real story, or is it?
No, it's pretty spot on because I watched
Yeah.
this second season, and that's the last episodes when they actually catch him. And so while I was watching it, I Googled Pablo Escobar's death, clicked the picture, and they have a picture of him when they caught him. And then watching it, they were in the same. It's pretty spot on. It's really good.
Wow.
And the amount of money he was making, he buried so much money in fields all over Colombia. It's insane. It's just the man. It's crazy.
It's funny. There was a write-up on MSM about him this morning that I was reading, kind of like how he became a bad guy and drug dealer and all that kind of stuff to become.
Was he one of those bad dudes that was like a hero to the people because he supported, the local orphanages and all that
gave,
stuff?
I mean, he just tossed money out. He gave
Yeah.
the poor a lot of money, and then but then he also killed a lot of
He
people.
massacred
set
people, too.
bombs.
Yeah.
He was a family man, though. And that's probably was one of his weak. He had a family, and that's pretty much how he got. That's how he got caught because they listened to static radio. Okay, so his wife, he went to send his wife. I'm going to break it down a little bit. He went to send his wife.
The story of
You're-
Pablo
you're-
Escobar.
you're not gonna ruin the ending,
Illustrated by the very one
not
and only
really.
Dean
He went to
Wilson.
send his wife to Germany because Germany was very easy to get into. They denied this family. So the family got sent back to Colombia, and they were under protective custody. So anyways, he managed to sneak them a phone, and he was talking to them on the phone, and then he went missing for a month and a half and didn't speak to them. So while that month and a half, the police were in a van, and they were trying to get waves, signal waves, and they were listening to static for a month and a half. And then finally they got up back when he finally called her back. And yeah, it's interesting. And so they were driving around in a van, and then when it would get more clear and clear and clear, it took a lot. It's interesting.
So is this show over now that he's?
Well, the way the season 2 ended, it looks like it could go season 3, which I think it will. because obviously he was a cocaine dealer, but the same amount of cocaine that he was dealing, they crushed all his labs and but somehow America was still getting the same amount of cocaine, and someone took his place, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Opportunity knocked.
We had a very interesting question come in for our own Tyler Klesiak, actually, who's joining us on set here. So our good friend Eddie Casillas wants to know how many egg whites you use in your hair.
How many egg whites are you using there?
Oh,
man.
Isn't that an Eddie question?
Yeah, you know what? It is, and that's Eddie for sure. I do buy egg whites, and a lot of them, and I get them at Costco because you can buy a box of 6 containers for only like $9.
Bargain.
Yeah, none have made it to my hair yet. They just always go in the frying pan.
I rub it on my abs. Makes the abs pop more.
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you got to be prepared. That's why Costco is such a good bargain, you know, because you don't know what you need to use the stuff for.
Yeah.
Especially when you got Google on your side, too, and you're just discovering something new every day.
I guarantee you there are people at home that are going to try this.
It's like
no. Well, that's the whole deal is the eggs or egg whites. I don't know if it's the yolk or the actual egg white, but it will just make your hair just.
Oh, I know that.
Johnny Bravo.
I'm talking about they're going to try the
Johnny
ab thing at home.
Oh,
Trust me.
yeah. Yeah, I am too. I haven't heard that, so it's.
Yeah. Or you could lean against the fence and just get the
get the proper angle and flex.
Yeah.
Dean, while you were on the shelf on the men, were you ever looking at anything else to do in the industry while you were down? Did you ever try any commentating or anything else to poke around with a little bit?
Not this year. I think last year I did a little bit of commentating at the GP.
He was going to do some U.S. commentating, but the translator girl,
Yeah,
the English translator
she couldn't
girl, it was just
understand
trying to
me.
get him into a rhythm, and it wasn't quite
Yeah,
working.
but last year I did a few riding schools, which was cool. I always like helping the kids. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
I remember last year I went to Paris many night, and it was just an experience. There was so many kids, and the kids were pulling off the track, T-boning each other. I don't know why it was so busy this night. There must have been 100 kids on the track.
Wow.
And it was like the 90s. Like Mike Craig was training, Rhino was training, Buddy was training. I'm like it was like every trainer was there, and like the kids were just it was just like stressful for a second, you know. My knee wasn't like, I was like kind of fresh off my knee. Like when one would fall, I would just really hope the parents were going for it, because when I had to like I didn't really want to hustle.
You just yell across the trot, Johnny, you all right? You good?
But it was just an experience, and it's fun teaching the kids and seeing them smile, so it's good.
I mean, it is a true story. If you go to any busy moto night where there's a bunch of trainers, if you were to grab all those trainers, you could basically line them up, and you would have a typical starting gate from the 90s.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And in your case, of some of the ones you mentioned, maybe even an 81 from the 80s or something in there too. I don't know exactly when Craig raced, but
no, he was 90s.
It was 90s. Yeah. It's a true story. And Tyler, who is a trainer, also same case. Racer in the. Did you race in the 90s? You only raced pro in the 2000s.
Yeah, in the 2000s, and I wouldn't even really call that racing. I showed up.
Come on,
Bro.
he's selling himself short.
Bro.
Hey,
Selling himself
actually,
short.
me and you had raced each other once.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Where?
You smashed me. Yeah, that's why I just don't. I remember it now.
But where was it?
Really? I don't remember that.
It was actually the first race you did, I think, coming out of amateurs. You had the PC deal, and it was the Barona Oaks big
I
money
remember
race.
That was a good money race.
You smashed it, man.
Yeah.
You killed it.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
I miss like those, because it's like when you race pro and you do well, like you're on the podium, you don't see the money. Where like when you go to these local races, like money races, like you get the cash and you're like, oh, where are we going for Dennis?
Exactly.
Where it's like you don't see it, so it's like it's almost like you don't really even have it. Where it's like you go to you have all the cash. It's feel like Pablo Escobar.
These guys would rather be handed $2,000 cash than have $200,000 wired into their bank.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Why I asked about the commentating bit was just as you get further along, do you ever have any like see yourself like what you might be doing still in the Supercross world after you retire? long ways down the road, whether it's commentating or being in the business in another form, is something like stuck out at you?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it too hard. I don't know. I'd like to stay, in sport, but I don't know.
That's curious.
Well, there'll be lots of opportunities at that point.
I'm
for
just
you
going to
look
be
at
the
whether
Wolf of
it's-
Wall Street, just run Wall Street and
There you
lots
go.
of money.
Nice.
Live in Miami.
Just be careful when you drive the white Lambo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's get back to the list of potential suitors for our man here. So we talked to RCH, we talked to JGR.
Mhm.
Who else is really out there that's
There's
got a program? Cowie's
Cowie's
stacked.
They got JG and Tomac.
Okay.
They're
You know.
keeping Tomac?
Yeah. Oh, come on.
What about Yamaha's kind of coming around with a new team, yeah?
Yeah, they got Reed and
'Cause they can
Webb.
have you talked to them?
Haven't. I don't really talk to them. My agent does, but
Okay, but I think
I haven't.
they'd be worth
to be
at least putting on their
perfectly
radar.
honest, I haven't even sat down and spoke to Tony yet because I was kind of just wanting to get this weekend over with, and then I can,
Yeah.
worry
But
about
it's
it.
getting to be that time.
Did you race?
It
this
was that
weekend?
time about
Right.
4 months ago. That's why it's like,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. Let it unfold. And
Did you didn't race this weekend in Charlotte?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, more or less.
More or less.
Yeah.
He was being sarcastic. He couldn't.
He
He
couldn't.
didn't catch it.
Nah, he didn't. It went right over his head.
Mm.
Yeah, he didn't have his mitt.
Mm.
I definitely didn't catch it. And I'll get my
He's
mitts
still not-
sewed on
he's still
again here
not,
soon.
It's still not caught.
Nah,
I know
he's
it's
still not
there.
getting
I'm
it.
like looking around for it, but okay.
Yeah.
So you don't
Is
want
that the live feed? How we looking?
Yeah, you want to see the live feed? Let's show the live feed. Boom.
On the phone.
Well, this is during commercial,
Oh,
so
okay.
this is behind a little bit. There you go. There's the caught up.
Oh, is this right
Oh,
now?
wow.
That's right now, or only moments behind. So you're looking at my phone right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a
Wow.
little bit behind.
Yeah.
Cool.
Snap a little screenshot of that thing.
What about going back into the lights class? You ever think about it?
I pointed out.
There's no way you can go back then.
I don't know. I
mean, after so
know.
many years of
You make good money too. I mean,
yeah, especially go clean that place up. Yeah.
that's a sore subject too because I got second 3 years in a row. Mm-hmm.
So you got some unfinished business there as well.
Sometimes you just got to let the dream go and move on. You know?
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can respect that.
Unfortunately.
I can respect that. Indeed. Indeed.
But
Yeah.
You'd rather stay where you're at anyways.
Oh,
Right.
clearly he has everything it takes to go battle at the top of the 450 class. It's just throwing it out there as maybe that's where you go at
No,
some point.
no,
It's-
great
it's
like I
all
said,
options are on the table.
You're racing a bike for a living. You're doing well.
If you could look back, is there anything you do non-injury related that you do differently? Like, man, I wish I would have taken this ride instead of that ride back in the day, or anything that comes to mind that
Probably not tried taking that Jeff Ward deal.
the Jeff Ward deal
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have went there.
Yeah, that was a shame. That was all too good to be true.
Mhm.
And yeah, we just got the bad end of the stick. It was like really good deal and supposed to get factory parts on the bike, and it's like I signed, and then 2 weeks later, it's just like the whole thing was. It sounded good at first, and then once
Sure.
after I signed, it was starting to get real iffy, and people were telling me stuff, and I'm like,
Could you have told me this 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, and then had to reevaluate what we were gonna do. So.
But I mean, that's one of those things you come across going through this journey. And Jeff Ward's a reputable guy. Of course, he wanted the best for the situation, 100%.
Wasn't
but
really
it doesn't
his
always
fault.
just come together, you know. And that is one of the risks when you sign into one of those programs, is just kind of coming together, And RCH could have went that way, and RCH could have folded this year, but it looks like no, they're going to go factory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good for them. You never know
it's
with
tough
these
out
things.
there. I always thought about doing it'd be kind of cool, like after your career. But I don't know if it'd be that cool. Is monster trucks driving
Really?
one? Do you think that would be fun or not? You think you bounce a lot in there? You probably got some serious whiplash, no?
Yeah, I don't
Or is
know.
this
No, they have the devices to hold you
the
in.
seat suspensions and that?
They got all
Who,
that.
who,
Bradshaw.
who does it?
Bradshaw.
Bradshaw does
Yeah.
it. Deegan's done
But
it.
they're kind of, it's kind of gnarly
do?
now, isn't
Dude,
it?
those
It's
guys
like-
go so
yeah.
huge.
It used to not be that gnarly. It's like, yeah.
And what's the one that Bradshaw drives? Like when I was down at the last one, it caught
truck or
so
something.
much
Yeah,
air,
monster.
it was not even funny. It's not like just the other tricks, but just a straight out launch.
Yeah, they're backflipping those
Yeah, now
things
you got to
now,
backflip
and-
them.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about a little freestyle. Have you ever let go of the bars? I seen your leg swag.
Purposely?
Let go of the bars and what? Pulling a tear off or what? Yeah.
Have you hit ramps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Actually, the ramps were open at Pala today. I was like, oh, that'd be fun. But that's more off-season stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
ramps are awesome.
You have any more races left on the Monster Cup or anything like that left?
I got this weekend at Glen Helen, and then
So you are racing this weekend?
Mhm.
Okay.
and then after that, it's kind of up in the air.
Okay.
So maybe Monster Cup.
Possibly.
We hope so.
What do you
I'd
think?
like to.
What do you think about Glen Helen? They gonna have the big triple up, or are they gonna get rid of that because it's the?
It may. I don't know. I'm not sure because I didn't race the national this year, but I seen the big triple up in that, and they got a lot of complaints about it, so I doubt it. It's just too fast.
Yeah.
As-
And he landed in like this hole.
Well, you seen the guy overjump it. The
Yeah,
video.
Yeah.
In that soft stuff.
Wow.
He must have jumped
Yeah.
200 plus.
He was going to make sure he cleared it, right?
Yeah. He honestly, I think he done it for his Instagram followers.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
How about the dude at LACR? Have you ever ridden LACR?
Mm-hmm.
This rad amateur kid at LACR like cuts the track and decides to do that huge quad. I know you guys
Rookie.
have seen it. Is that his name?
That's Rookie White, the guy
Rookie
that
White. Yeah, he's come in a few times and
that
friends with Damien and
Christian
whatnot.
Campos wants to get on. Yeah.
And Campos knows him. Yeah, that's
Yes.
pretty big.
That was the gnarliest jump I've ever seen, ever.
Really?
There
He
were
did
just
it on
so-
an open track.
It's just there was so much risk involved that was honestly, if that went
massive.
if that went wrong,
It was literally like a whole rhythm section.
Oh.
Just jumped
Well, you
once.
seen,
You're
like-
wait a minute.
but he had that jump after it.
Oh yeah.
That was
Something
hairy.
you don't-
I don't
yeah.
know what he
Right?
had for breakfast that morning. But that was like, because so many, even like the top pros are like that is one of the gnarliest things I've ever seen. Like, I don't know.
And he just kind of kept doing it.
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
gnarly.
time after time after time?
Yeah, with people on the track, like landing next to kids
That
on
was
80s
huge.
and stuff.
It was just.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah.
get Rookie White on the line. We need to get him in.
Dino
here.
wants to talk to him. Stat.
We got to go to a break. We'll wait for Rookie White to get on the line. And, hey, a lot more with Dean Wilson. Don't go anywhere, folks. The Action Sports Show. Right back.
It'll rot your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
Hi, folks. Jim here, and I want to talk to you about Slime Tire Sealant. Racers in all classes of motorcycles, ATV, bugs, cars, trucks are using Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flats, including pre-runners. Smart teams are even using slime inside their trailer tires, too. I mean, how many tires do you have? Think about it. Do you have motorcycles, ATVs, cars, trucks, trailers, wheelbarrows, mowers, and bikes? How many flats have you had in the last year? Maybe the answer is none. Maybe you're due for one. How much time and money can flat tires cost you? How about just the peace of mind? Nobody likes flat tires at all. Just pre-install Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flat tires. Slime is a liquid tire sealant that easily installs after taking out the valve core of the tire with the tool provided. Once inside, Slime seeks out and seals punctures instantly and repeatedly and is guaranteed for 2 years. Slime is non-toxic, non-combustible, water-soluble, and does not void tires' warranties, unlike that other stuff in the can. Go for Slime in the Gallon for all your off-road tires. If it isn't green, it isn't Slime. Put trust in your tires. Slime, there's no stopping you.
One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's true. The best new cars make the best used cars. And Toyota of Escondido is once again #1 in Toyota certified used cars and trucks. Feel confident driving with the peace of mind of a 160-point inspection and Carfax report. You also get a 12-month or 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty from Certified Purchase Date, plus a 7-year or 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty from original date of sale when new. Please ask for complete warranty details. Toyota Certified Sales Leader for San Diego County for 2014.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brother Tori Meister coming at you live from the Action Sports Show. Come check us out. You better like them, man. Yeep, doggy.
You're on, guys.
We got brother Tori Meister sitting here live on the line. One of Dan's favorite.
Hey, brother. We got to get him to come in and talk to him, and no one will know what's going on.
Yeah. We were talking about commentating. I think him and Langston would be a good accent duo, and they could pass the haggis around and all that kind of stuff. And
have a
you were
braai.
supposed to have some here on set when he got here.
We were supposed to have
too.
haggis for you here
We
today.
didn't know where to start looking.
I don't know where you'd
in
find it.
in Escondido to start finding haggis.
Did
maybe?
you ask Google?
It's not legal. You can be arrested for haggis. Is this what
You
you're
know what
telling
it
me?
is, right? Do you know what haggis is?
Stomach bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheep
Well,
stomach.
That's what he calls it.
Tyler's like, what? Nah. Not my department.
No, Tyler is like a super foodie, so for sure he
Yeah.
would.
Eat it raw?
I'd try it. Yeah.
Eat
I'd
it
try
raw.
out.
I thought you're a vegetarian.
No.
Stomach bag counts as meat, right?
Yeah, no, it does. No, I'm not a vegetarian.
Have you ever went that route?
Vegetarian? No.
Never
I mean, I don't. I currently am in this phase of not eating walking animals, but I do fish, eggs, things like that.
Walking
Okay.
animals
But
like this, like
like
humans,
this,
like how
So
many
no
walk-
chicken?
how many
I
two-legged
did not
animals
eat
we're
No
talking
chicken.
about?
I haven't done
That's
chicken.
why you're so skinny right now.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
birds.
I noticed that.
It's yeah.
Fish?
Diaz is vegetarian, right?
Nate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, he's vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, because McGregor was clowning him for it, and then he got beat.
After he burns all that weed, he can't even
Do you see
eat
him
meat?
smoking the pan
At the press conference. And then they get him in trouble. He's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, do you do that at the press conference? Really? Hence the nothing between, maybe. I
No,
don't
but
know.
I don't think it mattered because he already had done his drug test after the fight, and then you're free to go.
You're allowed to do drugs like after the fight, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
And I don't know if weed
Hey,
is performance enhancing, man.
ask Brock Lesnar. Or
Now there's enhancements because you
Who
just
else?
don't come like that.
who else is it? Brock Lesnar. Oh, John Jones.
But they said the two things that were found on Jones were apparently no longer, and there may be new news per Dana
that.
White saying that was no longer the case.
I heard that.
But I haven't heard anything since then. That was a couple weeks ago.
Impressed by our boy Dino here's like prowess when it comes to the UFC.
Are you going to come back for UFC night next week?
No, I got to get ready for 206.
We got
UFC 206.
we got Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens coming in here next week, and one of the girls from Alliance.
Well, what about Ronda Rousey? What's she up to? How come she's just been hiding and?
That's a good question, and that's one I
Because
would
she
like
was supposed to. Have they had a UFC in New York yet? Because they're saying they're going to. They already have.
They did. It was the one that Connor was supposed to fight at, and then one thing after another. John Jones ended up getting popped, I think, from that one.
The big 200 was at Madison?
That was 200. It was at Madison. It was in New York. It was a giant flop in the midst of them trying to sell the UFC. We actually made some speculation since they ended up getting $4 billion or something for it that had it not been such a flop, they might have got $5 billion.
Yeah.
But what's $1 billion here or there between friends?
Right. Now they got put on circuses stuff so that you never know. The bearded lady may be opening the show. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. She hasn't fought. That's what's cool about Connor. He took his defeat like a man, and
He definitely did.
And I think he needed to, and maybe that helped him because
Absolutely.
no one talked any more smack than him and her. They brought it through, and at the time, arguably, before he came up all the way, she was the biggest name in the sport. And then she just got lights out, and she did not handle it well.
No. Oh.
I want to know what happens when that guy fights Aldo again, because I think the scenario was a little suspect.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, he got a little lucky. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
The guy's
Aldo
like
in
never
13
been knocked down and gets knocked out in 13 seconds or whatever.
And if anyone's gonna do it, he does it. Oh, he's never gonna let that down. Aldo's like, oh.
Are you guys a
poor
fan
dude.
of Pierre?
That was
Saint
before.
Pierre?
That was before my time.
Pierre-Luc Gagnon, the skater.
Georges St. Pierre.
No.
GSP.
No, yeah,
right?
GSP.
Yeah, he's coming back.
He's coming back, yeah.
PLG.
Who's he fighting?
I don't know. BLT.
PLG, man. You guys know the skater PLG, right?
Yeah. You know the sandwich.
I am a fan
BLT.
of his.
Oh, you guys too much now. I don't got one for you.
OMG. But anyways.
BRB.
It's crazy. MSG.
BRB.
Oh, it's too much.
TTYL.
SOS.
I was going to add one in, but I'm out of this conversation.
Pretty young thing, the Michael Jackson. Is that what it? PYT? I don't know. Anyways. That's cool that you watch that, all that kind of stuff. So you follow it pretty regularly.
Yeah, I'm still a bit fresh to it, but I like to watch them.
I mean, but there's a lot of fighters and a lot of history. It takes a while to really get down. And
Hey,
so
I think Cowboy Cerrone's,
he's great.
his combo was gnarly.
Oh, yeah.
That was so vicious. I was like,
and he's a Diaz type. He will fight anyone, anytime. But that's what was great about McGregor. So he runs his mouth, does what he does to Jose. And then, he goes up. Who goes up 40 or 50 pounds or whatever it is? That, you don't do that.
and he didn't even make weight. He was 168.
Right.
Yeah, I watched his I watched the Mac Life. It's like his TV show he has on YouTube that follows him, and it's from. He has like a few episodes, and then the last one was from the fight. It's pretty good. He's like saying how Diaz was so heavy in the ring when he was leaning on him. He was like, he at least had 20, 30 pounds on me. He's like,
Oh, yeah.
so at least
Once he made the
155
weight,
will be
yeah,
good.
he went up. But, man, and I thought the same thing was going to happen as in the first fight. Connor started to gas.
Oh.
Nate's coming on. I'm like, it's over. It's going to happen again.
Third round, I thought
Done.
McGregor was done.
Yeah.
And how he rebounded fourth and fifth.
I
was
mean,
like,
that just shows the tenacity and the desire to, dude, he had to dig down
well,
and find a
people
way to win
kind
that
of give
fight, and he
him,
did.
people give him like a hard time for running, but we're trying to win it. Like, he's trying to win a fight.
Yeah.
If he wouldn't have done that, he may have got.
He ran for a couple seconds.
Yeah, he just
but then
needed
they
a
show
breather.
all the left hooks making Diaz's head twist off. I think that's an
Diaz
equalizer.
got busted up.
But he
for sure.
always does.
Yeah. Every fight, not just the McGregor fight.
Yeah, his face busts up super easy already. Like
He'll
he-
outlast
he
everyone.
walks
Give me
in
what you
and-
got, and then
yeah.
when it's time, I'm going to tie
He's
you
a
up.
beast.
Yeah.
That guy is tough.
Yeah, he's gnarly.
Who would you compare him to in the moto world?
Uh,
If you're McGregor, who's he?
If I don't know, someone that just keeps hammering. Bob Hanna.
Oh,
Ricky Johnson?
Ricky Johnson.
Hannah's like
Right.
Uh,
The Hurricane, man.
Like, you can't knock the wall down, is what I feel like.
yeah,
with, like,
yeah.
But
Diaz,
it
he
seems
didn't
like
even-
all the old school riders are like that, though.
Yeah,
They're
right?
all just like, dude, they would
Morocco.
just get, oh, yeah. I mean, it's, all those guys.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was going to say Chuck Son, but
Before my time again.
I don't think Chuck Son was like that,
No.
like tough per se. But he was the 500 champ, and he was a bad dude.
I actually have a little topic for you. Is I watched the MX Files on Ronnie Lechine.
Oh, he did.
Like
Mr. Maxima.
Yeah, I used to always get my oil and stuff from him when I was on 85s, and didn't really. He was before my time a little bit, but yeah, it was actually very interesting. Didn't realize he went so hard, but it was pretty.
Oh
pretty
yeah, he
interesting.
tied it off hard.
I mean, I think he won. He was winning races doing heroin. It was like.
Yeah.
pretty-
whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Not
guys.
Well,
performance enhancing.
I don't. He said he dabbled in it. I don't think he was. I don't know if he was.
I
he
don't
went-
know,
he
I don't know
partied
if
hard.
you
That's
dabble
just-
in heroin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm saying he tried it.
Weird.
A few
He
times.
gave it a couple
A
tries.
day.
Just getting rid of the arm pump.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an interesting documentary for sure. I was like,
I mean, it's just a different.
it was a sad ending though. Like, he went to Japan for to the manufacturers. Like, all the manufacturers were there, and he brought weed through the border, and they caught him. And
They don't mess around with that in Japan.
no, and I don't know who he was writing for. Maybe it was Kawasaki or Honda. The main corporation guy drove him after it, and it was really quiet and awkward, and yeah, it was
speaking of quiet and awkward, let's go to our crack statistician here for just a moment who looked up the legalities of haggis being banned in the United States. Right? Does he speak?
I do.
You do?
Sometimes. I closed the window because I texted it to you. Where'd it go? It was something about 1971. It was banned.
Illegal to import haggis into the United States from the UK due to a ban on food containing sheep lung in it. Funny. All foods with sheep lung in it, we're banning them all. We're banning them all. And
it's funny that we do that, but we can't send any beef anywhere else besides right here.
But the ban on food containing sheep lung would remain in force. It's illegal.
Yep, no sheep lung.
Maybe there's
what's bad about sheep lung?
It's a PED.
But you can buy it if it's made here.
Huh.
They can't import.
United States made haggis.
New Google search?
It's Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Huh.
I also seen, you know how Michael Phelps was doing all the cupping at Olympics?
Yeah.
That's illegal now.
Cupping?
Yeah.
Did you see the
How
cup?
is that illegal?
That's what Tyler told me today at the gym. So
Illegal,
if it's wrong,
like-
it's his fault. It's a PE. It's a.
Oh, it's not
a drug.
illegal. It's
At
banned
the Olympics, it's banned.
by
Now,
the Olympic Committee.
because of Phelps and everybody doing
Yeah,
it
because
this year.
it pulls like the blood or
the toxins through the yeah.
But
But
like, come on, it's not even like you're injecting something. You know.
Have you cupped?
Yeah, a couple times.
You've cupped.
Yeah, it leaves welts on you.
Did
for
you
a
like
while.
it?
Yeah. I mean, it was all right. It
Yeah.
wasn't like.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that much of a.
You're like, man, I feel great.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was just curious. We watched it on TV, and everyone's going, okay, what is it and why? And that became the whole thing before Lochte took over Superstardom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We did get another message in, and this one's from somebody that seems to think that TK244 can still ride harder than DW15. So you got a fan out there, Tyler.
Yeah, I think he thought that before he woke up.
Oh, selling yourself short again, Tyler.
Shush, man.
Shout out to
No.
Rob Dresser for being on the TK
Awesome.
bandwagon.
Yeah.
Well into retirement.
So starting to run out a little time here. So as you're shopping for your next home to be pitting under, what else is on the radar for you the rest of this year, and when do you start super training for
Supercross?
Well, first off, obviously, I need to get whatever team I start riding for, and then, whether I do Monster Cup, that's up in the air. But definitely, I'll be on the Supercross as soon as I can. I feel pretty fresh still. Like even though like the season's over, and I am a little bit tired because it's not like when I was injured, I was just flopping on the couch. I was working pretty hard. So
Well, that's what 80% of everyone else thinks.
yeah, right. So I was just having a couple. I'll probably take after Glen Helen a week or two off, figure out what I'm doing, and then November, December is the.
You ever
grind.
think about, and maybe this is something you guys strategize about with your agent, but hanging out and kind of seeing what premier spot might open up. Maybe 60 days before the Supercross season type thing. That tends to happen. Maybe they're
What
home.
if someone gets injured?
It's going to happen, and I don't even like to say it, but I've been around enough to know that it's going to happen. These spots are going to. These guys are going to, have a get off in the whoops or something like that.
No,
And
it
there's some
happens.
premium rides are going to open up. It's the reality of it.
Yeah.
You would certainly be on a top of a pile of people to replace someone in that situation. So if a premium spot doesn't open up, do you consider waiting for a premium spot to open up, or do you take whatever spot comes your way immediately?
Probably just take a spot that comes my way. I think waiting's the gamble, and hopefully I can get a good on a good team and get back to training and get on my program.
And I think
it's just consistent. You
Yeah.
don't want to be like relying on someone to get hurt. It sucks, but you
no,
could
yeah.
it could come to that, but hopefully not.
And you just need to keep race laps coming and
Because
coming.
you think
and
of
coming.
it, pretty much the people that are unsigned, me, Malcolm Stewart, Weston Pike, Justin Bogle. That's it.
James Stewart.
James Stewart, yeah. I guess Brayton signed with Moat Concepts. So
Oh, he is.
I heard. I don't know 100%, but that's the grapevine.
Well, like you were saying too, though, and you not maybe opening, like just waiting for an injured rider to happen, but just picking up the first opportunity. It sounds like, you know, when we're talking about the mental stuff too, and the direction that you're going and where you know you want to be, you're going to be more than hell ready for whatever you do end up getting.
Yeah, yeah.
And is Davey back on BTO this year?
Yeah,
I hear he's
and
coming
Baggett
back.
and Benny Bloss.
Oh, that's right. Baggett's on there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And we're gonna have Alessi back again. Is that the word? Back
probably
from Canada.
Motor Concepts. Right?
Did he win the championship up there? Do you know?
Davey did.
Davey did. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. All right. All right. There's another rider who had lost his ability to hold that momentum, and maybe going up to Canada actually brought it back to him
Doing
because
some
he's
laps,
certainly a
winning the
capable guy.
championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
And you talk about, coming out from that bad injury last year, Tomac, laps, momentum, all that kind of stuff, and just won this last week. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all just getting the laps under your belt. You look at Dungey, he really didn't get injured, and he's had so many years of building a base. Like his fitness level's really good. So.
Yeah, for sure. And what's your expectation for him when he comes back? Do you see him battling for the top spot right away?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to have some time back on the bike before the season starts, right?
He's been riding the past 5 weeks.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the
Because he's racing. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
He's racing that SMX Cup, which is the weekend before Monster Cup in Germany, I think. Germany.
And then coming back to race Monster Cup?
Yeah.
And straight rhythm?
Not sure.
Where's Villapoto riding this year? He's back, right?
Yeah. I heard he's back.
I heard he was. You hearing that?
Third rider at Cowie. Yeah.
Third rider at Cowie. Great.
Bonus only.
Alongside with Ronnie Lachine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great. You totally threw my train of thought with that one. Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
I think so. I tell you, it was a trip seeing him up there in the Monster booth last year when we were hanging out watching the thing, having a guy look down on the field going, I know I could still kill it there.
Where was this?
One of the races. I don't know.
Oh.
Just,
I haven't seen him. I haven't seen him since Monster Cup last year. He paves roads and stuff now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think, what's cool that I like that
He's
he
a
does is that
hard-working dude.
he went back to
Washington.
Was it Washington?
Yep.
And then he, I've just from following, he has a little coffee shop.
Yep. Him and his
He
lady
paves
opened
roads, and then he just rides the local tracks. So I think that's just cool for.
It's not a bad life, though.
No, I mean, he's happy, and he's having twins, right? But yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool that he supports the local track still. You imagine all these 60s and 80 riders going to the track and be like, "Oh, Villapoto's here," It's pretty cool. And he races the local races as well, so it's cool.
It is kind of a testament to the character of who he was. I think the whole time he was here, he wasn't in his comfort zone. He was here because he was making money and because he was in that stage of his life. But this was never his world, this SoCal limelight world. No, he wanted to be in the Pacific Northwest where he can fish and hunt, and pave roads and serve coffee and hang out in the pits with 65 kids. We've talked to you about that a little bit before. Where does a guy that's from Canada, Scotland, California, or California or whatever,
Yeah.
however you do it, where does a guy like that end up? Where's home? And you said you have a home in Scotland still. Is it your house, family house? What is it?
My house.
Your house. You have houses all over the world. Is that the deal?
Yeah. Yeah, I call Scotland home. It's where I was born, lived there till I was 9 years old. Still have a lot of friends and family there. And, but I still love going back to Canada as well. But it's just so cold in the winters there. In Calgary, it's really cold. But still enjoy it up there. But, Yeah, in the future, I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to do like Scotland in the summer, then California in the winter.
And are you doing some more Florida now?
What's that?
Florida?
Yeah, I live in Florida.
You're doing some more time.
You're
in
full
Florida?
time in Florida right now.
Yeah.
What's the house like? You got a nice pad out there?
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
All right.
Are you liking Florida?
I do, but the summers, at this time, like, I enjoyed being at Palace so much today because it's like the track was groomed, the weather was nice. You know, in Florida, after a while, it's like I ride at Baggett's.
Yeah.
And it's just a really rough outdoor track, and you get there and it's already so humid, and it's like, it's just a grind. There's no like breathers, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
there's no hiding from
it's
it.
like riding a row. It's like a row machine, you know. It's like you never like get on, like if you're on a cycling, you know, like you get a downhill where you're like row machine. It's just a constant push, and that's what it's like in Florida. There's no rest. It's just hot, humid, rough. So it's pretty demanding. So it's nice to be back. It's a nice change.
Well, I remember one of the things I was going to bring up, and it was in reference to Dungey coming back and Roczen having all that momentum that he's holding on to. And Dungey's going to come back and try to take that momentum also. It's really interesting when you see two people, and it's one of the funnest, I think it creates one of the funnest things for fans of racing to watch and experience. Two people that are equally as fast, that are equally as confident, and that go after that momentum grab week in and week out. And if one breaks the other, then you'll see him drop, and the other one will just take off.
Yeah.
But if they both can hold, then you will see the battles of of the century type.
There was
thing.
some good battles like Reed and Bubba back in the day, where they.
Oh yeah.
Like when it went down to the 20th lap, that's when you're like those guys are beasts.
Yeah.
That's just pure athleticism.
I mean, it didn't go that long, but this last season with Cooper and Craig, there's some cool battles, and that was really exciting.
That was cool. Yeah, it was
6, 7, 8 laps. You know.
Yeah.
Who's doing the Husqvarna team? Who's on it right now? Because they're making
Which
they have a
250 or 450?
450.
I
know
Anderson and Purcell.
Oh, Purcell's on it. Okay.
He's back, which I was not surprised.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, he signed a 2-year deal.
Gotcha. That seems like a nice bike. They got a good program going. Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. So what are we looking at? We got a few more minutes with this guy.
Got a few more
I don't
minutes.
know where the clock is, but where do these people follow you? I know he doesn't really like to, it doesn't matter, but yeah, obviously it matters
phone's
because it's
dead right
slowing
now,
down
so.
a little bit, and that mattered to him. But if we were to send our legions of followers to you, where would they find you? Dean Wilson 15?
Yep. Plain and simple.
And that's on everything?
Mm-hmm.
Snapchat?
That's Dean Wilson 15 MX.
Are you still the
throw the
king of the
MX.
Snapchat?
Depends on the mood,
Yep.
Good mood, lots of snaps. Bad mood, no snaps.
No snaps this last weekend, and we're not talking about that.
Tell me about your Tundra that you got working on out here, because I saw you roll through, and I was like, that is not a lifted Cali cool guy Tundra. What do you got done on that thing?
Well, I got 26s.
I'm sorry.
Here we go.
20 sexies? What?
Well, first off, I've been with Toyota Escondido since 2011, so I've had quite a variety of trucks, and I got one like 2-inch lift on a truck, and I just didn't like it. And it
wasn't your style.
It wasn't my style.
Yep.
No, that I didn't like it. It was
Probably
awesome,
easier to get the bike in and out.
I don't know. The 26, like,
What?
it just
Say what?
it drives. I'm going to punch this guy in the face. It just drives nice. And, yeah, looks cool.
It looks really good. When you rolled up, I was like
I think 26 wheels are a bit dramatic on some trucks, but I think it fits the Tundra actually really
It does.
good.
Yeah. Fills it up, and it's something you don't see all the time. And your last couple that you've had have looked.
Plus, those things are straight up hot rods. I mean, they are smoking fast.
Yeah.
The thing's got to handle great around.
There was a hot rod today because I was in a turning lane.
Yeah.
And the turning lane was going on the freeway, and then this one was going straight, but I had to go straight. So it's like the light went green. I just whole shotted. It felt good to get a whole shot. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and you
But
could
I had
take
to be
'em.
on it because there was a curb right here. Like, there was no option but whole shot. The good thing the guy was, like, on his phone. So
He's like, man, I haven't seen You know when you're at the light and you're like, they're about to be blown away by
No, but
my
I
reaction
had my
time.
turn signal on. Like I was turning and I'm waiting for it, and then green.
Caught him snoozing.
You've been pulled over here
Yeah, a few times.
a few times?
A couple times, yeah.
What, for what?
Well, speeding, but a couple years ago, you guys are gonna jinx me. I hate you. It was a couple years ago going to Pala. I got pulled over there, and but I remember one time me and my mom were leaving the airport after a race. It was like 2011, and I was like just wanting to get home. It was like the longest travel day, and I'm like grumpy, and I'm just like in and out of lanes. Got pulled over, and the guy actually watched the race.
Oh my God!
He's like, "Hey, that was a muddy one yesterday, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I didn't have a
No
good
kidding.
race. Yeah, and then
Nice.
I was like, "Oh," but yeah, that was pretty cool.
Did you flash like the AMA card when you pulled your?
Oh, I
like-
thought you wanted my license. I just dropped it.
exactly. I had my KTM pit shirt on. I wasn't KTM then, but yeah.
What were you back then? You were Cowie?
Cowie, Mitch's team.
Yep. You enjoyed the Cowie. You were good on the Cowie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Good times for sure.
You've been good on every bike you've been on. You've been good on
I've
the KTM
only been
too.
on green and orange, so I was with Cowie for a long time though.
Am
since I was an
days,
amateur.
yeah. Did you get some Loretta's titles?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you get?
3. Nothing
3?
too spectacular. The second in the B class and then the A class, and then that was it. 8.5s, I was never anywhere close. I was like in the 5th place range, and then
Who were you racing back then in the B class? Like who was that podium?
Barsha, me, Christian Craig, Travis Baker. It was really stacked.
Well,
Baggett.
that's my
Jake
point.
Canada. It was a lot.
Other than Canada and T-Bake, who have now
Mm-hmm.
moved on to doing other things, I mean, those are now some of the biggest names of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting when you look at Loretta's and think of the B class like now, and you don't really know these names, but in 5 to 10 years, those guys are going to be the
Unless they're kind of getting groomed, like everyone knew who Faulkner was,
Sure, absolutely.
But I think Chase Sexton will be pretty good though. I guess he hurt his knee before he made his pro debut.
This is a great question line for you. Like, who do you see coming down the pipe?
I think Faulkner's going to be really good. Sexton's also going to be good, but he is recovering. He blew. I don't know what he did to his knee, but it's like a good 5 months. He already had surgery, so it's he's going to be good though, because he was pretty close to Faulkner when they were racing together. And then, honestly, I'm kind of the same now. It's weird. Like, I don't really know much about the amateurs. I mean,
You
I
get
gotta-
out of that
like
world.
I
and
kind of do,
you don't-
but
yeah,
I don't.
I got a message here from a mutual friend of ours, John Parkinson, who said 85 when Samuels and I took you to the line because your dad didn't want to.
Yeah, that's actually a funny story.
What was the deal there?
Well, for one, I was about 6'1" on my KX85, blowing up engines at Loretta's. Just not a good week at Loretta's. You have those good weeks at Loretta's and the bad weeks. It was a bad week. And then I remember, I don't know, it was just a bad week. And then I picked gate pick number 42 from the far outside. And I was like pretty big on my 85. But I was not happy. So Samuels and Parkinson took me to the start and gate. My dad was done.
He's like, I'm over it.
He's done. This was I don't know. I can't exactly remember, but and that was my best moment of the week. I got on the podium, but yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, man,
John used to be always around the amateurs taking pictures, and he was a great guy. We miss him for sure.
Yeah. Well, he's still around. I still spend plenty of time with him.
Yeah.
He's doing the Panic Rev and rocking, doing camps all the
I
time.
seen him at that riding school actually a couple weeks ago. Did you do that or no?
I didn't know.
You got to, when you get some time, you got to come be a guest instructor.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for coming down and hanging out with us all night,
Thank
man.
you.
Good
Thanks for
catching up
having
with
me.
you, and
Yeah, it's good.
stoked that you're on the rebound, and can't wait to see you kicking ass on whichever team that we're going to see on. Hopefully, sometime
Lucky
in the
enough
next.
to get him.
Absolutely, sometime in the next couple of weeks. And Tyler, thanks for coming and hanging out with us,
Yeah,
man.
always. This was more than a pleasure.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
You gonna come back again?
If I get a phone call.
All right.
It takes that first, and then And then
Then he's got to talk to his people.
Yeah.
You know, he's,
You know how the
he
process
has,
goes.
Have him
he
get
has
a
a
whole
lot
our
of
people.
obligations and stuff.
Hey, and thanks for you folks for listening to us. Don't forget to check us out every Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. You can go to the actionsportshow.com for more information. Follow the social media at TE Action Sports. That's at TE Action Sports. Subscribe to the podcast, and yeah, it's going to be a great show next week. UFC superstar Jeremy Little Heathen Stevens will be right here inside the Toyota Escondido studios. And hey, remember I was going to say don't text and drive, but apparently don't text and walk either. We'll see you next time. The Action Sports Show. See ya.